Cook. Corum.
What?
Danielson.
Here.
Oh, sure, yeah. Will we, Donna, will we have those?
Finberg. Fields. Gardner.
Excused.
Janal.
Present.
Gonzalez.
Excused.
Hanson. Heisey. Holbert. Jaquez Lewis.
Put my email address so I can request my 56.
Well, I got a little, nothing, turkey, salad, not too bad. Cheese, yeah, $2.95 or $2 something. Takes like 5 times for the cart, for the, try again.
Because I use cash and it kept spitting dollars back out. I'm like, there's only so many times I don't give you the chance to take
I know.
real life actual life.
Kirkmeyer. Coker.
Can't afford to give
Lee.
Here.
Liston. Lundeen. Moreno. Pedersen. Priola.
Present.
Rankin. Rodriguez. Scott.
Excused.
Simpson. Smallwood.
Excused.
Sonnenberg. Story.
Here.
Winter. Woodward. Zenzinger. President Garcia. Cook.
We all said here.
his picture up there.
Excuse Scott, Smallwood, and Gardner. Who do you have that's just not here? These people are. Hear what he said?
How many do we have?
There's 26 people here. Partner people, accounted for 4 people, we know not showing up. So we're looking for.
Real question is, how many Democrats do we have?
Ah, you figured this out now. All right. All right. 10, 11.
Do we have enough to amend the rules?
Oh, 13.
Quorum. Hanson. Heisey.
Do you count James or no? Do you count for quorum? Okay,
Depends if
that's
Leroy's
50.
here or not.
Liston.
Gardner's in the office at
And the others are
Scott's
excused.
excused.
So Scott Smallwood, Gardner Gonzalez.
Larry said he's on his way in. Oh, and then I forgot to count those folks. 15, 16, 17. Yeah, you got it. 19. Cole in the center.
Gardner.
Cook's here.
I forgot to count the people up there. You've got 19. So you're
Yeah, Quorum's gone. Heisey's gone. Kirkmeyer's gone. Liston's gone.
Yes.
like they told you they were leaving, or they didn't know where they were?
Scott's excused, Smallwood excused, Gardner excused.
And Gonzalez.
I haven't heard from them.
Is she up there? So we had an opportunity?
So we need to excuse her.
Okay, yeah, so we have 4 people we would need to excuse. Everybody else still is here.
Alright,
And add 1 more.
okay, cool. Well, hopefully it's good.
Gonzalez and Papa.
Madam President?
I'll call again to see if the new president.
Gonzalez.
Might give her a moment to log in.
Liston must have left for lunch or something. He said he's running up Colfax. He'll get here as soon as we can. There's Bob Gardner.
Gardner.
Hey guys, we got a few more.
Present.
Andrew, we got a couple more coming.
Kirkmeyer.
Heisey. Do you have Heisey?
Heisey.
But you want to give a 20-minute speech?
I'd like to talk to how important it is.
How about
Majority Leader Finberg.
just lay it over to tomorrow?
That'd make the bar and everybody really happy. That's okay, I don't have.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the call be raised.
The motion is to raise the call. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no.
No.
The ayes have it and the call is raised. Mr. Carpenter, please add Senator Danielson to the roll.
Yeah.
Committee reports. And
January 13th, 2021, Committee on Appropriations, Equisters and Mayor's Committee as following. House Bill 1003 be referred to Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation. January 14th, 2021, Committee on Appropriations, Equisters and Mayor's Committee as following. House Bill 1002 be referred to Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation.
Chimes. And turn the chimes off? Oh, they just turned off.
Majority Leader Finberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate take up House Bill 1004 on special orders consent calendar at the hour of 12:45 p.m.
The motion is that the Senate take up House Bill 1004 on special orders consent calendar at the hour of
45.
12:45 p.m. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it and the motion is adopted. The Senate will take up House Bill 1004 on special orders consent calendar at the hour of 12:45. Special orders, second reading of bill, consent calendar, Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. That motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar, and Senator Rodriguez will take the chair.
The committee will come to order, and the coat rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of all bills on the special order second reading of bills consent calendar?
House Bill 1004 by Representative Snyder and Supervisors Gardner and Lee concerning the Colorado Uniform Electronic Wills Act.
Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for the adoption of the one bill on the consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1004.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills on the consent calendar? The motion before. No. God bless you. The motion before the body is the adoption of all bills on the second special order, second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report. That's a motion.
I forgot. The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report. I thought you were going to read it in its entirety.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee has had a bill under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Madam President, your committee will hold legal reports that in consideration of the following test bills being second read, therefore makes the following recommendations are on. House Bill 1004 passes second read order, revised place counted for their reading and final passage.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Thank you, Madam President. I move the report.
The motion is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of Mr. Carpenter, please excuse Senator Hawkes Lewis. The motion is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 1 excuse, the Committee of Whole report is adopted. House Bill 21-1004 passed on second reading in order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Madam President, I move that the Senate take up House Bills 1001, 1002, and 1003 on special orders at the hour of 12:51 p.m. And members, there should be a calendar already on your desk.
The motion is that the Senate take up House Bill 1001, House Bill 1002, and House Bill 1003 on special orders at the hour of 12:51 p.m. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. The Senate will take up House Bills 1001, 1002, and 1003 on special orders at the hour of 12:51 p.m. Special orders, second reading of bills, Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. That motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of Whole for the consideration of special orders, second reading of bills, and Senator Rodriguez will take the chair.
Rodriguez, whoa, Rodriguez, whoa.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the bill to House Bill 1001? Okay, sorry about that. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1001?
House Bill 1001 by Representative Escar and Senators Finberg and Holbert concerning authorization for remote participation in political party committee meetings.
Senator Fenberg?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1001.
To the bill, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this bill is a continuation of something we started last session about allowing political parties to have their meetings remotely. This is something that is in statute, so we have to authorize it. I think when we passed the original bill, we figured the deadline we had in there was sufficient. It is not. Political party reorganization meetings are coming up. Again, that is required by statute that they happen at a certain time. So it's important that we pass this in order to allow them to do their work remotely.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Proud to work with the majority leader on this bill. We had similar legislation, as he indicated, last year, to allow the parties to do their assemblies remotely. Here we are in this new Zoom-friendly, WebEx-friendly environment. Thank goodness we have those technologies, but now we're back. Who would have thought we would still be having to struggle with COVID? But now we're back to deal with the organizational meetings, and I'm sure that all of you, whether you're single county or multi-county, are familiar with how those meetings happen. Ask for your aye vote, and I will step out of the way for the good senator from El Paso County.
Senator Liston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have a second reading amendment to House Bill 1001.
Is there an amendment? There's an amendment on the there's an amendment on the desk. Will the clerk please read the amendment L001?
Amendment L001, House Bill 1001 by Senator Liston, amendment Gross Bill page 2 after line 21, and to see notwithstanding the provisions of the contrary states in the state house.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I move L001, and I'll be happy to explain it.
Is there, being there's some discussion, go ahead, Senator Liston.
Would you like me to explain it, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please explain it. Yes, please explain it.
Yes, thank you. Members, I'm proud to support this bill, and I was looking through it, and what L001 simply does is it extends the same courtesy to the respective chairman of the Senate districts, the House districts, and the commissioner districts within the respective counties to allow them to conduct their business separately if they choose to do so. This is voluntary. It's not a mandate. It's not a shell. But in some of the large counties, like El Paso or Jefferson, or really it could be in any counties, is when you're electing your county officers with all of the delegates there, and then you're going through where the House and the Senate and the commissioner districts, literally people can be there from 7 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon or later. And for health considerations, if you think about it, this will allow the, like a House district chairman to say, look, to save time and to be respectful in light of COVID-19, to allow them to say, look, we'll have a off-site meeting via Zoom a day or two later. So that's what L001 does. I've shown the amendment to the majority leader and the minority leaders, and I think they're comfortable with the amendment, and I would ask for an aye vote on L001. Thank you, members.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do appreciate seeing the amendment before it was moved, and I agree it is a friendly amendment. Where I live in Douglas County, we have, for instance, 4 state house districts. 3 of them are single county, and 1 of them is multi-county. And sometimes that 4th district, the multi-county, or I guess all of the time, that's held at a different time. So I think those of you who may be single county, probably you do all of this together when we can be face to face. But we certainly have the multi-county districts, at least in our party. We usually hold those just prior to the state assembly. But now we're talking about organizational meetings. So do you need to bring people from multiple counties for their organizational meetings? Probably so. So we would just ask for your aye vote. I think this is a good catch, and I appreciate the senator for bringing it. I understand that legal counsel from the 2 major parties have looked at it. My understanding, at least, is that Ms. Tierney and Mr. Murray have both said, yes, this is good. So ask for an aye vote.
Senator Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I concur with that and appreciate the heads up and the conversation prior to the discussion of the bill, and urge an aye vote.
Okay, is there seeing no further discussion? The motion is the adoption of L001. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. To the bill, Senator. Senator Fenberg, to the bill?
No more.
Oh.
No.
Okay, well, what?
Let's vote.
The motion before the body is?
I don't have to do that? Oh, okay. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is to adoption of Senate Bill. Okay. All right. Sorry. Seeing no further discussion, the motion is adoption of House Bill 1001. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted.
Good work. Bills about wills.
Will the clerk please read title of bill, House Bill 10002? 1002.
House Bill 1002 by Representatives Weissman, Road Senators Moreno and Hanson, concerning reductions to certain taxpayers' state income tax liability related to state tax law changes made in 2020 and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Go ahead. Senator Moreno?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1002. Colleagues, House Bill 1002 is a bit of a correction. There was some unintended effects of House Bill 1420 from last year. The intent was not to change the way taxpayers had historically been treated in terms of what they could carry back in terms of how what their tax treatment is at the federal level. It was merely intended to go prospectively into the future. Through a Department of Revenue rule and interpretation of 1420 that was unclear, and so this would make that clear and allow for those previously allowed for deductions to carry forward into the future. It also corrects a date mistake on how ITIN, individual taxpayer identification number filers, how the earned income tax credit is applied to them and would allow them to claim that in tax year 2020. That's essentially the gist of the bill, and I'll see if the senator from Denver has anything to add.
Senator Hanson.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And just to quickly add, I think this is really appropriate updates to what we passed last year. I think given the economic crisis that many of our EITC filers are feeling, this is very appropriate date change to make sure the I-10 filers can immediately get that help that they need, and we urge an aye vote on 1002.
Thank you. Any further discussions? Senator Lundin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The underlying bill that this bill interacts with, 1420, we had significant debate about. There are a number of provisions in that bill and that bill itself that create, I think, significant problems and economic drag at a time when we can least afford it. This bill seeks to keep money flowing in the system in certain ways, and there are benefits of that. But there are a couple elements of this bill that I think are interesting, and I actually just have some questions that I would like to get some clarification on. The folks who are filing for earned income tax credits without a Social Security number, that previously was established to happen in 21 and going forward. This particular bill that we're dealing with now, I'm not talking about 1420 at this point, I'm talking about 1002 itself. It says 2021 and going forward is not enough. We want to go back a year. We want to reach back. And so the question I have is, those individuals filing without Social Security numbers, how many are there? And what are the dollar amounts involved? And are those numbers the same in 2021 going forward, or as they are in 20 going back, because the bill is now creating a new group, a new opportunity for credit in 2020, which clearly is a year that's already passed. It's a year that's behind us, and it's a year that people are now filing taxes on.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the soonest that we have data for ITIN filers is from 2017, and there are roughly 35,000 ITIN filers that this bill will impact. Because it's important to recall, colleagues, that not is specifically targeted to lower income populations. So $35,000 roughly is the number that this provision of the bill will apply to. By advancing individuals, thank you, yep. By advancing the provisions of this bill to tax year 2020, we will essentially, as a result, incur about an $11 million general fund reduction by allowing ITIN filers to qualify for the earned income tax credit in tax year 2020.
Senator Lundin.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the answer to that question. And I have some other concerns with 1002, where we're in this moment of time where recovery needs to be our focus. We should be doing everything we can to recover people's health, recover their health, recover jobs, get people back to work. And there are aspects of this bill that I perceive will pinch those who create jobs, perhaps creating additional drag on the economy at a time we don't need it. I'm curious if the bill sponsors could disabuse me of my ignorance, if you will, and explain how this, in fact, provides greater wind in our sail as opposed to more drag on our keel. Wow, how about that for a nautical metaphor?
Senator Hansen.
Thank you very much, and to the good senator from El Paso County, this is one of our favorite jobs, to do that disabusing, so thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, I think just the opposite is happening with this bill. In fact, we heard a lot of very positive feedback from many of the business groups in the state, particularly the small business groups and some of the chambers, who really like the correction we're making with 1002, because we're allowing those taxpayers the flexibility to use these credits enabled by the CARES Act. And that, I think, is a very pro-business provision of 1002. And the opposite of drag, we are lifting the boat. We are speeding up the sailboat, to continue the metaphor, and I think that's one of the really attractive parts of 1002.
Senator Lundin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And final question. Would it not be a better use of the $11 million in refunds that we will now give back to people who are filing for earned income tax credits without a Social Security number? Would it not be a better use of that $11 million, perhaps, to put that money in the hands of parents who are doing work to prevent their child's slide, their academic slide, in a time when so many of our schools are closed and not open to a direct in-person education? $11 million, where do we choose to spend it? Wouldn't it be better to put it in the hands of parents who are seeking to help? And these are disadvantaged parents. Let's means test it, perhaps. But let's put that money on target, helping students not slide from this COVID slide that we've got going.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate the point brought up by my colleague from Monument. I think the beauty of the earned income tax credit is that it is specifically targeted to lower income populations, so that those folks, you know, it is proven economics that when they receive some sort of tax benefit, when they do receive some additional support from the government, they spend that money into the economy. What's beautiful about the earned income tax credit is that there is no restriction actually on how those families spend those dollars. It is what is needed to make sure that they can recover or that they can afford their basic necessities. For some of those families, I imagine it will be dealing with the costs of remote learning and finding those opportunities for their children. And so I actually suspect that will be an element of this policy.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1002. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title of House Bill 1003, please?
House Bill 1003 by Representative Benavidez and Senator Finberg concerning the conduct of legislative proceedings during a declared disaster emergency.
Senator Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1003.
To the bill, Senator. Oh. There is an amendment on the desk. Will the clerk please read Amendment L004?
Amendment L004 to House Bill
Senator
10.
Fenberg. Senator Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L004.
Thank you. Would you like to explain your amendment?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this is, we had a bit of a conversation in committee about this. If you read House Bill 1003, it does mention per diem being something that a member is entitled to while they are participating in a committee remotely. That is already the practice. That is actually what was available to members in the last time we did this extended recess. In talking with the drafter and with Ms. Mullis, we decided that there was some heartburn about that part being in the bill, but if we take it out of the bill, it changes nothing. So we're going to take it out of the bill. So that's what this amendment does. It deletes that section because it is already current practice.
Being no further discussion, the motion is the adoption of L004. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Senator Fenberg, the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, again, House Bill 1003, you probably gathered by now, is essentially about remote participation for committees, especially joint committees. The reason for this is in part because SMART Act hearings are in statute, not necessarily in rule. And we also have a part of statute about remote participation in committees. This is to clarify that we will be able to hold these joint committees during this recess that we are about to be going on. We can hold them, members can participate remotely in those committees. And we also are providing more flexibility on the deadline for when SMART Act hearings need to be completed. That deadline is in statute. I believe it's the first few weeks of session. That's kind of a confusing requirement when we are in session. We're about to go into a recess. So we are providing more flexibility. As discussed at Executive Committee the other afternoon, the intention is still to get these completed as soon as possible, and we anticipate they definitely will be completed before we come back February 16th. But that's what this bill is about, and it is a little confusing because some of this is in rules, some of this is in statute. We figured to clarify everything, we would pass a bill to make sure that rule and statute are speaking the same language.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the things that we discussed in the executive committee meeting, I'll just call your attention if you're interested in this topic. The public does have opportunity to provide public testimony, input at SMART Act hearings. And that was something that we talked a little bit about because usually the requirement for public hearing and then public testimony applies when there is a bill being considered, legislation is being considered. And that specific requirement is in the Gavel Amendment that passed in 1988. So in the SMART Act hearings, there aren't bills. But if you look on page 5, lines 1 through 8, you will see that the public may participate electronically in accordance with policies. I think it's important. It's been a while since I've been in a SMART Act hearing because I've been in leadership and not serving on committees of reference, but my recollection is that opportunity is there, but it's very rarely taken advantage of. With the change in remote participation and the public's interest, we may see a change in that, and I appreciate that that interest is upheld. So, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1003. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the committee is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Madam President, your committee will place lead reports that in consideration of the following test bills being segmented that makes the following recommendations to run. House Bill 1001 is amended, House Bill 1002, House Bill 1003 is amended, passing order revised by the counter for the reading and final passage.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 1 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. House Bill 1001 as amended, House Bill 1002, House Bill 1003 as amended, passed on second reading in order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Announcements. Majority Leader Finberg.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, just a couple of quick things. Employees are going to be sworn in tomorrow. Just a heads up, so there will be more folks in this chamber than we have had recently. Sergeants will be directing them. There's a plan for social distancing. Just wanted to let you know so you didn't come in and be shocked about the fact that there are employees all of a sudden in here. But the swearing in shouldn't take too long. Let me know if you have any questions. I do not believe we will have a reason to go to committees tomorrow. Small chance that there could be conference committees, hopefully not. Also wanted to let folks know that because we are not doing the State of the State right now, and we are delaying that to meet the constitutional requirements, the governor has submitted a letter, essentially a preamble to the State of the State that we will eventually get. It will be in the Journal if you care to read it. Madam President, I think that's all we have, so I move that the Senate adjourn.
Majority Leader Finberg, I believe Senator Story has an announcement before you make that motion. Senator Story.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to let everyone know that the Capital Development Committee will not meet tomorrow morning at 7:30.
Further announcements. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate adjourn until 9 a.m. tomorrow, Friday, January 15th, 2021.
You have heard the motion. Without seeing any objection, the Senate will adjourn until 9 a.m. Friday, January 15th.
118 to go.